Hey, boy. What a good little doggy. Hey? Yeah, you're a good
boy.
boy.
On the show.
Well, we're back. We're back to part 2 of the rant. Now, just quickly, before we start off, people often tell me I'm funny, and I'm a funny person. I never see the funny side of things, and blah, 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 which is just not my personality. And what I actually quite detest is other funny people. I don't like watching comedy, and I find no one funny. But when
You used to do that. You used to like that...
Tosh.0?
Yeah, Tosh.0.
Because he's a bit mad. Yeah. But when I do notice something funny, I like to commend it, especially if it's in racing. I mentioned the word before. A highly commendable act was Ron Dofficy talking about Macquarie. I found that tickled my fancy. But a bloke out there who can be polarising and annoying, who's the front man for the TAB, Glenn Munsey, said something astonishingly funny. So I've got to mention what he said, and it was bloody funny. And we all know Glenn. And he's a good...
We've known him for how long?
Oh, for fucking ever. So, he did say on Saturday on one of the Form Line shows that they accidentally put Yankee Rose up favourite in the Bathurst 1000 and there was still money for her. Which I think is fucking hilarious. So, that was great. That was great from Glenn Munsey. I enjoyed that.
Hey, what's going on with that protest? Wasn't there a protest?
In the race?
Yeah.
How did I bet on lose me money?
And what happened to Cranbourne yesterday? Why did we lose Cranbourne after one race?
High wins. High wins. I know. But it is funny, isn't it? There's always money for Yankee Rose. We accidentally put it up favourite in the Bathurst 1000.
Well, you mentioned that she's the ultimate horse interest, thoroughbred interest story. Like,
I think she is.
She's the soft sell.
Well, we can't back wings. All we can do is pray it gets speed. She's the popular girl. She's at a price you can punt. You look at her and go, she'll win. She's always in and he throws her in a race. Haven't protected her anyway. She'll be like, next year she'll be first up in the Cox Plate.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Cox
right.
Plate.
So what do we say? Joe Public commentary of Winx's win on Saturday yesterday, for example, the birthday party, and they're going, oh well, she only raced against 2 other horses. That's how can you say she's any good?
She got the job done.
It's won 12 starts in a row.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I'm just presenting the
attitude.
man in the streets is going, oh, well, she beat 2 horses. Well, yeah, so what?
Yeah, well, she didn't get either of them to change barriers because she was a protected species.
Doesn't Black Caviar's memory liver fucking make you just... He got him to move the barrier.
All right, but what are we going to do?
How the fuck do you do that?
How do you pull that off?
Oh, Moody, have you
It's
got
a
fucking
punting
photos of the stewards routing our stations? Like, how did you get them to do that? And do those stewards look back going, how did we do that? Funny game, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think that...
The people's horse.
Was that the first time that we'd encountered in the modern era that type of horse? That everyone was so determined to protect her winning record. Like it was a project. It was not, let's pull this tall puppy down. Like everyone wanted to prop the tall puppy up.
I don't know what it was, but I'm glad that period came and went.
In relation to Winx, like 18 months ago, she resumed in the light figure stakes and she poked up the inside, and then she went to the surround stakes and first seal just went. What the fuck happened?
What, in 18 months? How's she so good?
How did this happen?
How is she so good?
But you used to be reasonably negative about her in the mounting yard too, didn't you?
She's a raw bone looking thing, and she must have just filled out.
Okay, but you saw her a few weeks ago in the George Main. What are you seeing when you see a horse like that? Are you thinking, oh, well, she's just, she looks like she's better than everybody else?
I'm not thinking that.
Is there a mounting yard clue to Winx at all?
No. She just, with her maturity and development, she's just... she won a one-goer in the Cox Plate, I thought, right?
Yeah.
But as it turned out, it wasn't a one-goer.
Yeah, well, what about
she got a PR and demoralised.
The previous starts before that, when it got smashed coming around the home turn and still knuckled down and showed ticker and actually got up on the line. That was a brilliant
At
run.
Rose Hill,
She's just got hard.
No, he's talking about the Epsom when Huey got knocked over on the turn. So it must be psychological then.
I think winners win, and they learn to win. I mean, she just keeps, she's the girl at the Olympics, and they're going over the high jump, and they go, well, that's the world record. Well, I can jump that. I'll put it up higher. I'll keep jumping. Where does it all end? I don't know. The sooner she fucking goes, though, the better I'll just go away. I hate these type of horses.
Well, yeah, you look at what you want to see them in.
We really want to see the Cox Plate.
You want to see these horses in races where they're at least evens. So someone's saying, well, there's a good chance.
Well, I do want to see the Cox Plate up against Hartnell.
I
think it's going to be a race.
She can retire after that, as far as I'm concerned. But that's the one race I want to see.
Well,
The
she
market at the
probably
moment-
will, won't she? If she like,
Will she?
well, she's a mare. They're like.
Yeah, but she might get another season where she earns another $4 million.
Well, the thing is that if you've got any horse that has breeding capability, you start to think, well, they start to think,
Get him in the barn.
yeah.
But they only pull $1 million out of that.
Yes, I'm saying. She's not
a
going
lot
to get
of
a
money.
fortune.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
they put
Okay,
it,
so back for the Queen Elizabeth then.
but
The
also,
race that she ducked out of last.
but she doesn't
year.
get $1 million the first year.
Yeah, I know. It's 2
It
years
comes
down
out
the
3 years
track.
down the track. They'll put it to some sire for 300,000,
Yeah.
and then they'll raise the fucking thing. It'll cost 200,000. Get it to sales. Goes for 2.2 million. By Fastnet Rock out of Winks. Goes for 2.2 million. They might clear $1 million. But she comes back and races for another year. She trots around and wins 600,000, 800, 2 million for the race.
All right, so we need to keep her away from you.
What do you mean? Right, yeah, she's fucking shits me.
Right, on to other stuff.
A couple of emails, guys, from David Diamond at Just.L. Would love to see Parra in the steward's room questioning jockeys and their rides at a ratings winner. He is an ornament to the game, Parra. He's the best. His new letter saying now, and he says it to anybody, is you can't blow up anymore. You can't blow up anymore. It costs you $10,000 fine. Which is in reference to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he's been looking very dapper at the track lately, hasn't he?
He's not young. He's older than me.
No, but he's suited up and everything.
He might have a two-wheeler on the side. And for
He's
you
not
that
that-
don't know Parra, he's a delicious race goer and been an ornament to the game. Get to 4, 5, 6 meetings a week for 30 years, and you know he's a little bit more disadvantaged than many of us, but he's champion.
Well, it's a great example of if you engage a person correctly, you know they've got lots of hope to come on.
And lots of things to work with.
So you know, Parra has found the races. That's his thing, and my God, it's made his life, hasn't it?
And he has his systems. He backs Kathy O'Hara in the last. He has a million different systems, and they all work.
I don't know. I don't know him very well. But, yeah.
Oh well, look, honestly, look, you know, he's one of the assets of the betting ring, actually.
And if you, with his problems and his high intellect, with his problems, he does have an inability to listen. So he can talk and you can have a conversation, but you've got to understand he doesn't hear a word you said. He asked me about a young lady I know the other day, how's she going? Haven't seen her for a couple of weeks. I said, you wouldn't believe it. She's over in Iraq. The Taliban have kidnapped her and 8 blokes gangbang her every day. And he said, oh, well, at least she's travelling. Because he doesn't hear a
See
word
that
you say.
happening, yeah.
He doesn't listen to anything you say, so I just say the most ridiculous things to him. And then he responds, oh, at least she's on her way. Anyway.
Big hello to Parra. Now, hi guys, David writes again. I was lucky to attend Turnbull Stakes meeting last Saturday. First experience of VOP, Victoria Official Price. Appears prices are taken direct from Dynamic Odds database, correct? Just wanted your opinion on if you think it'll be brought into New South Wales. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I think about it all.
I've already related on the show a few weeks ago that I thought it was a weird experience being in a betting ring that wasn't being manipulated in some way for the prices.
I think let them test drive it, and let's see if SP ends up being more fair. And if it works, do it. And if it doesn't work down there, don't do
Well,
it.
the argument about it is that prices are being determined by guys that you can't bet with.
Yes, is that a price?
But
It's like you and me, we bet in billions.
But it's like, well, they're forced to take a bet to lose 2,000. So I reckon if
Yeah,
you're
but they don't
going
always
to,
do that, do
Are they or not?
but if, if you're going to do that, you've got to be very strict on forcing them to take the bet to lose 2,000.
Well, the only one diligently doing it is 365.
365 do it all the time. They're fantastic.
Fantastic. They're the only ones.
And you still get the SP guarantee with it as well.
enormous. You can't ask for more than that. That's fantastic.
Yep.
But there's others like, well, you mean you log on, the prices change? Yeah. I mean, how does that work? How do you work in a Coles and it's $5.99 for some nappies, $5.99 for nappies, $5? Oh, you're Greek Orthodox, it's $7.99 for the nappies. How does that work?
Who polices this stuff?
Oh, no, someone must be out
Well,
there.
it's Racing New South Wales compliance because they're basically going, they're licensing those Racefields license with the corporate bookmakers. So
I'm sure.
they're able to say, we're not renewing your licence, you're technically not allowed to bet on New South Wales racing anymore.
Well, fucking Mounting Yard Mail, we've said the whole time I've had it, that how do you breathe without it? I'm saying right here and now with corporates, bet 365, how do you bet anywhere else? That's my new slogan.
If
365.
you're,
Yeah,
if you're
365,
starting out and you want to make money
would you bet
and
anywhere else?
eventually turn professional, well, I mean, you should be getting accounts with all the corporates, but the two you need the most are Bet365
Yeah, but
and
not many
Betfair.
blokes out there
You need
bet
those
bigger
two.
than Win 2000. You're saying that they
But
should.
eventually, when you want,
No, but
you want to be professional, you've got
people
to.
really want to be professional. Do you want to come in the game now as a professional?
Look, I'm saying if you're starting off, there's two accounts you need, and that's Bet365 and Betfair. They're the two most important.
Oh, I agree with that. You need the fair because the fair shows you where to bet, and all the corporates follow the fair. And you got to, if the fair's going this way, the corporate prices will go out.
Yeah.
They all follow the fair. Everyone follows the fair. Tells you how to
Sure
get
do.
out.
I mean,
Sure
what a
do.
great situation, but let's say with this SP guarantee when you're with Bet365, so let's say you take the $8, okay?
Yeah.
And it ends up running around at SP at $5. Well, fantastic. Look at the value you've got there. Let's say you make a mistake and you take 8s, but it ends up SP at 10s.
You get tens.
You get the 10s. So it means when you're right, you're making a large percentage margin, and when you're wrong, you're only losing, what, 8 or 10%? You should be able to make a profit in that scenario.
Get involved with 365. Anyway,
We've already pretty much covered Dean Yendall. Danny Jackson, good friend of the show, rang me this morning. He was very cut up about what happened in race 1 at Hawkesbury yesterday. Well, I sat down to do the form for Hawkesbury and there was no barrier trial for the ultimate winner in my form. And I went and I looked at another form guide and there was a trial and I'm going, okay, this horse must have changed its name. But there was no reference in the form guide that this horse had changed its name.
oh, it changed the name to it.
So it trialled at Randwick on the 20th
I saw the
under a
trial.
different name.
I just thought he called it wrong.
No, so look, you
So I looked
know,
up the trial.
look, various people have said, oh well, you click on the horse's name in the Racing New South Wales form and it takes you to the right trial. But as you say, the horse wasn't called by that name in the trial.
And I
was
put it down to the dopey caller because all the callers are just so terrible now. It's unbelievable. If you're out there at school and you're deaf, dumb, and blind, think about becoming a race caller. You got a chance.
Okay, so
They're all abominable.
my mate Danny has gone. He watches all the trials, and he's put it in his black book.
And it's come up as a different name on the day.
And his black book didn't tell him this horse was running because the horse changed its name.
$5 in the corporates in the morning. It started $2.60.
It gets better, doesn't it, the story? Now, amazing. You know how often you've seen in your form guide horses with old names beside them?
And they have a new name.
But they've never ever been called that old name. It dates back to when they were a yearling.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going, Jesus, that's irrelevant. Why are you continuing to do that? But you'll see a horse like this who's changed its name in the last 2 weeks with no reference.
That's unbelievable.
And that's the most important one, isn't it?
There's some horse running around at bloody Kembla down the north coast. It was a Full Tracks for Kids. It had the name on the other.
Yeah.
It had its old name there for 2 years.
Yeah. That's right, which is fine. It's good.
Yeah.
Look, everything's automated these days, isn't it? So
Well,
the
clearly
information's
it's not.
automatically sucked.
Yesterday morning I went to Racing Australia and they have got a page of renamed horses. This horse wasn't on there.
What's it
So
called again?
He's Serious was renamed Cannot Be Serious.
And that sums up the whole saga. Cannot be serious.
Anyway, look, I understand that lots of people were able to work around this situation, but there was no flag. And there should have been a flag and someone has fucked up. Probably all we need to say about it.
Yeah. Racing in general, people who run racing do seem particularly well protected. I'll give you a good example. And I've been thinking about this because apparently tomorrow there's going to be the dogs are back on. So good news. If the dogs are back on, that's all. I don't want to point fingers. How do they?
Oh, so they're back down now, are they?
They're backing down today.
There will be an announcement tomorrow.
Sava. Oh, go ahead. Okay, but I'll just give you a good example. When the bus burst into flames on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the public transport minister should be sacked. Sack. When the kids got gassed, Skinner's got to go. This is an outrage. The minister's got to be sacked. Who's ever in charge? And they're going to be sacked. The dogs, they're eating possums. No one mentions anything about Troy Grant.
Nope.
Not a word was said. Why? How did that go on the racing minister's watch?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, it did happen. The racing minister should be sacked. You will never read that.
No.
And everybody in racing, in the higher, very well protected. I don't know why. Like, how would you say the Skinner woman who runs
The
health
department.
The health department. How would you blame her for someone putting in the wrong gas connections? It's a tradesman, and then the little kid got gassed. One died, and one's. I mean, both real tragedies. How would you blame her for that? And then the bus blew up and blew into flames. How would you blame the bloke who runs public transport for that? But when the fucking dogs, they've been going on for centuries, pulling their ass up, doing this, fucking cooking with them, whatever. How wouldn't you mention at least that's something like, well, the racing minister should be sacked?
Because
Well, that highlights our ultimate frustration, is that for some reason the racing industry has different rules. Like,
does.
like the rest of the world exists over there, and the racing industry's over here, and that's why it's never touched.
I think society has the perception that the people involved in racing are all crooks. You know what I mean? So that changes. That's the slam.
All right, so poor Troy Grant, he's asked
He has
to
to
actually.
look after all these crims.
Yeah, okay, you know.
So we've got to treat him with kid gloves.
Yeah, because he's got a tough job.
That's a
putting
tough
up with
gig.
all us
Oh, okay.
criminals.
Well, all I know is that freaking dogs, you know, like fair dinkum. It's just like.
Oh, but I mean,
And the whole thing about the
everything
dog
in life
stinks,
is just
now.
reactionary these days. It's just bloody
Yeah,
Well,
ridiculous.
it's like Trump. What about Trump this week? Whatever he said. Oh, you know, I got this. I can touch chicks. I can do that. They're all blowing up. Well, I'm telling you one thing. I don't know much about anything, but if you've got stacks of money and you're heaps famous, girls do tend to let you do whatever they like.
Tell you what, I've got a great story.
Don't
about
they?
that. I found this thing online. It's called Gold Diggers.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is a guy, he's dressed sort of like not very well, and he's just average looking, and he goes up to this hot girl that's standing on the side of the road, and this is for real. They do heaps of them, so it's not a setup. And he tries to pick her up, and he keeps on trying, and she's like, "Go away, get lost. I want nothing to do with you."
Yeah.
Anyway, he hands his token to the who's the bloke
The
that
valet
gets
parker.
the valet parker, and he just stands there, and so he doesn't talk to her. And next thing you know, the Ferrari pulls up. And she, excuse me, yeah.
Of course, but
what was your number again?
That's the nature
I
of-
actually am free tonight. Oh no, my boyfriend isn't coming to pick
So
me
therefore,
up.
what
Like,
Trump
bloody
said
hell.
isn't too bad.
It's not too bad.
And it's close to
and
the
there
truth.
is so much evidence
And it's
online.
close to the truth. Look at jockeys. All jockeys get married at about 22, 21 because young women, see, the jockeys'
they
wives
pick
out
up
there, they go, oh my God, he's for me. For starters, if they weren't, they're 3/4 of a man. Aren't they?
There's very little risk of domestic violence.
There's very little about, but yet they all have girlfriends that clitch and marry me. Do you ever see a 30-year-old jockey out there successful playing the town? No. They're all at home with 3 kids. They're all mucking about, of course. But women as a species, they kill. Yeah, they kill for.
Now they're a different species.
You know what I mean? They want.
Basically, you're saying
They want security. If you have a lot of money and power, it's security. Do with me what you want.
Yeah.
I banged
Yeah,
3
that's-
blokes last week and they're all fucking blind, drunk, and had no money. But, oh, you've got money here, you can have this as well. So Trump said, well, I do all this to Sheila's because I'm rich and powerful. That's the fucking truth. And he gets away with it for that reason.
Look, everyone's doing their best, aren't they?
Everyone's doing their best. Fucking jockeys' wives, give me a fucking break.
Big hello to all the jockeys' wives who paid particular interest to a show we did back in June.
they all look good as you get older. Fucking hell. Anyhow.
What are we up to? God had some homework to do for the weekend.
Yeah,
didn't
how
he?
did you go with that?
Okay. So we had Henry Mark's son's birthday and my nephew's birthday, and I was watching closely and taking notes, and I've come to the conclusion people bluff very well, but I had to watch very closely to see evidence of what you were talking about. You know how closely I had to watch? One bloke, Jaron, who's a watcher of the show and a fan, and his wife Sarah, lovely people, lovely kids.
Is this my sound?
This is your Sarah.
Yes,
Oh.
just got out of hospital after having cancer treatment.
Yes.
The day before.
PBB
She
well,
was
well done.
yelling at him to pick up the little bits of broken water bombs the kids have been. So he can hardly walk. He's picking stuff off
Poor
of the
bastard.
ground. And so up
Yeah, but seriously-
until that point I hadn't seen much evidence, but I just thought in that one act was enough
Well,
to
Sarah's
say
she's a friend of the show. She's a friend of the show. We'll give you a leave pass because you're a lovely young woman.
She's a fantastic woman. Yeah.
And how's he going? Is he all right, the boy?
Yeah, he is. He is. It's going well so far.
So he had an operation on Friday, and 36 hours later, he's being asked to pick up tiny bits of balloon from the park.
He's married. Women punish men. That's
But
the
you know
nature
what?
of
He
life.
seemed to do it so joyfully as well. Like
Probably happy to be here.
Yeah. Poor bastard.
What sort of cancer did he have?
Bladder.
Oh, I hope he gets well. Hope he gets well.
Yeah.
He will. He will. He's a battler. We're all battlers.
Did you ever have to do the party duty, Glenn?
I used to pay people for that shit. I had plenty of money when our kids were young. I had stacks of money. Anything had to be done, I paid.
Who were you paying to take them to the party?
To college. What do we got here?
Oh, so you were bribing Nicole to do
Yeah.
to do your gig?
Everything like that, yeah. It was either 500, 1,000 or 2,000. I used to win 30 and 40 every Saturday. What's the difference? Who gives a fuck? Now I freaking got $8 in
He's
the bank.
only remembering the wins and forgetting the losses.
Great days.
Question for the Racing Rant show. Hi guys, I need some help. My past betting strategy was to assess form, wait patiently for massive overs and unload. Worked terrific. Wow, that's but not many serious bets during an entire year. Lately I've changed things up to more pro punting style and I've multiple bets each target race I find. Still winning but not as much. My problem though is this. Say I win 15, 20 units or whatever on a Saturday, I typically do that same figure back via one or both of the quaddie bets or multi-bets. How do you guys handle this? Do you bet quaddies or multiples, and if so, do you have a separate bank for those types of bets and account for them in that way?
Well,
Any
first
comment?
of all, I've dropped off the quaddies, but that's just a personal thing. But I've got to tell you that I think having separate banks for different areas of betting is a really clever way to bet.
Well, you just track all your bets, like I do in a database.
Yeah, but I don't write anything down.
Yeah, so I mean, there's one way is have a separate bank, and that tells you, or do what Gord says is actually have a in your list of bets have a means of sorting them.
Yeah, and I think treating them as two different things, because you might go. Give you a good example. Playing like a $50 game of cards twice a week, and I'm playing like a $600 game of cards. $50 game of cards, I like win all the time. Got 500 one night, 500 the next, win. $600 cards, better score. But I took them. At the end of the week, I might win 500, lose 50, do 600. I don't look at it as like I lost on the week. I look at it in the $600 game, I might be 3,000 behind. In the $500 game, I'm 7,000 in front. I just treat them as two different games. And it's a bit like when I used to bet. Stewie Davidson was the best at this. He was the best ever. He could go to the races and do 20 or 30,000 in a day, or win 20 or 30,000, and then he'd bookmake at the dogs that night. And if he got there and won 2,400,
He'd be happy.
he'd be stoked.
Yeah.
You've done 22,000 at the races, you win 2,400 at the dogs. You think you're going to go home, done 19,600, you're sick. You've got to treat them as two different things.
But that's what we talk about, like you're not winning at a particular track. I think you can increase your profit by actually analysing specifics of your actions.
And I'm
I know you
I'm
don't like
potting
doing
that.
that,
I'm
yeah.
potting that.
Well,
I think you lose at a track in a certain period of time, and it's just that's the way. It's like when you're betting credit sometimes with 7 different bookies. There'll be periods where one bookie you won't lose with him for a year. Does that mean you should have all your bets with him?
No.
It's the same theory. It just means at that particular time, as the dice is rolling in life, you're going well there.
But it's not, because we have a tendency to follow similar patterns all the time. So if that pattern that you're following or using majorly is not winning at a particular place, then there's evidence to say that the way you do the form or the way you bet doesn't work in that particular situation.
I'm saying that's a good argument, but I'm saying I don't think it's right.
But by the way,
I'm saying it's like if you wear red undies to the track and you win, that you shouldn't wear green undies to the track. I think that's ridiculous. That's how I think. But then I'm a fuckwit.
yeah, but,
All right, but you sort of are comparing apples with oranges. You know, the fact that you either win off a bookie all the time doesn't mean anything. I agree with that. And the undies, I agree with that. But there probably is some meritorious
well, it's evidence based, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it could just be a run as well.
No, but you take that into consideration. Like, I'll still do the form on those particular.
Yeah, but you probably need to
Track.
look at it over 5 years, not.
No, but then
not-
you
not
can't
a-
because things are changing all the time.
Well,
see, so you've got to reach that perfect line wherever it is. There's no such thing as a perfect line where you have enough data to make a reasonable.
So if you're losing
Yes.
in a track and they're racing the other day, you won't have a bet.
Well, I'll either reduce my bets or not bet. Yeah. But I'll still do the form
So
on
when
the
you're
races.
reducing your bets, you're
I'll
sort of
still
like
do the
hoping they don't
form on
win?
the races, and then I'll see if I start actually thinking, I'm starting to have a good feel for this again. I'll start betting again.
This game is just like a lifelong complete head fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the best.
But the,
Like honestly, talk about stimulating
But,
life.
back to this, the way he says, look, the guy, it seems to me, since being at the track, I sort of didn't know what the big guys did other than just seeing what Forrester did. But they tend to just get massively aggressive when they find a snip of value. So that's what Mick was originally doing, is it? Or
yeah, it's you need to be able to play all the time, because it's all very well being very selective and winning well, but you can't get set for a lot in a particular go. So the means of keeping your turnover up is by playing all the time. But you need to be able to position yourself through those various times when you're very keen. Now, the Golden Rose turned up. We're about to start betting on the Golden Rose, and I'm just sensing that Kingsley is going to have a massive go at a stern. He has picked his mark. So Kingsley bets all the time, but in this particular race, he's gone, I'm betting up big time here.
Yeah.
A, because it's a race where I can get set, and B, because I super like it.
and even though it seemed quite well found in the market, they didn't care, did they?
Man, and
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
went, you clever,
I love that
you
attitude.
clever bastard. Yes, you're absolutely right. This horse is moral here. What the hell were you thinking when you looked at this race?
And as far as like, I do a lot of doubles, and I think an angle, it doesn't pop up very often, but you know when one horse, say a double would have been Yankee Rose Global Glamour, like they were tied together. Obviously I can't do that because it's Melbourne into Sydney, it's difficult for me, but the blokes out there will be able to do it. You know what I mean? You go, okay, if Global Glamour wins, does that mean Yankee Rose is a great horse? As soon as Global Glamour won, what happened to Yankee Rose's price?
Yep, it went from $3 to $2.40.
Yeah.
Well, since
so
meeting-
have a
since-
double,
since
Global
meeting
Glamour
Gord,
into it.
I'm just going to start having doubles and trebles just as a way of kicking. And anyway, my first bet was Saturday. I'm only just going to bet $100 every Saturday.
Yeah,
Something to do.
yeah.
And I had basically a bit over 50,000 to 100. Tower of Song, Olympic Academy, Denver.
Fuck.
I'm never going to miss 100. And I went with it, and like I'm never going to miss 100.
Lucky it was the middle leg, because the last leg you'd be hanging from that tree.
What, keep going for 50,000? Or if it got beat?
You've got beat.
If Olympic Academy was the last leg,
Oh, and the first two won, and well, I wouldn't have just go. I'm just.
I know. You
I'm
just
treating
like
it like doing
putting on a
$100.
lottery ticket, but
Yeah, but it wasn't about a lottery ticket.
I'd say why not put 800 in there, have like a $100 Trixie, so that'll cost you 400. You know what I mean? And then maybe do a place one as well.
Well,
You're
there's a-
only investing 800,
Oh yeah, I know.
and you would have collected.
I've only just started thinking
You know,
about it a bit
20,000
more.
or something
Like
like
I said,
that.
like I'm just saying to anyone out there, they were the three horses I kind of liked prior to Mounting Yard Mail. Because of course my final decision is Mounting Yard Mail. Often people go, oh, you didn't tip that, you tipped on the Friday. Well, they paraded better.
Yeah.
You know.
but the other thing is, people have access to your selections on Friday, and they have access to your Mounting Yard Mail for it. So you can take one or the other or both, or you can do what you like. But the fact is, you've still tipped them.
Exactly. There it is.
It doesn't matter that you've changed your mind. At the read the Mounting Yard.
Anyway,
And as far as betting into tote pools is concerned, I'm looking to do the opposite of what your casual Saturday punter's doing. Okay, so in quaddies they like to have a lot of horses in the early legs because they want to be live late. So you should do the opposite.
Go light early.
Light early, long late. You know what I mean? Little things like that. I'll notice that, you know, if there's a number 14 who's got a good chance, might be about $5 or $6. I think there'll be some money for it. I might consider putting a quaddie on because I think that when that number gets up, it's more likely to be a value dividend. But there's hundreds of these little tricks.
Psychology of betting is
Yeah,
what Gord's talking
but
about.
you're looking to do the opposite of what the average Joe Blow does, and that's when you'll find value in a totalising situation.
Good point.
all right, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
All right, where are we up to, guys?
Hi guys, love the new show. Dallas Houston, blah blah blah. No one mentioned the quip of the century from the Jocks room after the Epsom, when one of them said, "What the fuck was the Frenchman doing?" Tim Clark replied, "No one told him it was a long weekend with double demerits." Regards, Mac.
And I got to say, Macca, that was a pretty
was
funny
pretty
comment.
good,
There's
yeah.
been some funny things this week. And Tim Clark's he's a nice bloke and a good jockey, and good sense of humour and likes to smile and laugh and drives a fucking Mini. I don't know why he drives a Mini.
Yeah, well, that's a point of difference. Danny did email saying Richard Freeman did get the flick from Thoroughbred Weekly.
He got the flick. What did he do?
Well, you know, maybe someone knows. Please write in if you know what poor old Richard did wrong to get the arse from Thoroughbred Weekly. Sportnut tweeted out, nice lay on Yankee Rose, Mark. You just keep producing. Thank you, Sportnut. It's good having someone to keep track of your fails.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Yeah, that's right, Sport. It's all it's opinions. Opinions that make everything go around, like arseholes make shit come down to the dunning floor. We've all got one.
Richie Calendar, the fake Richie Calendar tweeted 0 on the roulette wheel, which I labelled Anthony Cummings. Hashtag God bless him. So good on you,
Talking about
Richie.
that number one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thunder Fantasy. Mug Punter said, interested to know what Glenn thinks of the half-sister to champion galloper Mitigate, and it's Fragonard.
I didn't realise. Yeah. Is she a smoky for the Oaks? That's pretty funny, Mug Punter. I appreciate that. That's good of him.
Well, Fragonard's a 3-year-old filly that's doing a lot in her first preparation.
Good friend of the show, Warren Godson. Warren from Warren, he's one of our best mates of the show. When is the Rant getting together for the bar? We're going to have drinks at the bar. All these things are happening I promise you, and there's a big change with the show possibly in the future, which we're excited about, and that'll involve that too.
Yeah, but it does. We do actually need to get onto that, Glenn, which is
I know we do.
Which is the social events for Racing Rant, because we all get caught up in it, and it's hard to pull yourself out of your
Leave that with me then, because you're a workaholic.
It's like doing the shows about how to use your stuff and mix stuff. It's like you can always say, we'll do it next week. Well, somebody's just got to get on it and do it.
Yeah, I know, but it's only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've got to get to 5 race meetings. We do 3 fucking shows. Stand on your head.
I know.
Then I've got to wall 28 hours a week.
Exactly.
I've got to have 4 hours out walling.
Exactly. Well,
I've not got no fucking time for routing or training. I'm dead set getting, I'm just starting to get old man body.
Because you're not doing enough.
I'm not doing anything, and it doesn't matter, man. I'm checking out in 11 months. But you're just starting to look at yourself and go,
I could do some work.
Old man body.
This is why the growth hormones was a reasonable suggestion.
Yeah, I know. The roids. I mean, how has enough time to do anything?
Yeah.
I got to go to lunch now. Then I got to bet in the run all afternoon. Then I got to play cards tonight. I'll get home at 2.
Then on English racing.
Yeah.
All right, but a suggestion for a Rant social function is like in 6 weeks' time, straight after the Melbourne Carnival, or does that run into Christmas parties?
Well, let's make it Christmas drinks at the Rant.
But look, you're not going to please everybody. You just put it on a day.
We're going to have Christmas drinks in the first couple of weeks in December. How about that? We'll find a venue. Everyone will be welcome to come. We'll throw some money on the bar. Not too much. We can't afford much. And we'll look forward to it. Now, I told you about the jokes. I remember I wanted to mention about Troy Grant. How doesn't he have any sack?
Don't worry. The show's got a little bit. It's got its most popular segment to come.
We do that
Are you
again
ready?
today. Oh,
Have you worked out your buzzer?
Poser?
Oh, you're going to stay the same, are you?
Yeah, poser.
Working really well.
Okay,
So Gord's just gone
Okay.
out of camera there, to become
right.
Tony Barber.
Yeah.
Where's your?
Is this from Teen again?
Yeah, teeny
Yeah.
again.
Where's your offsider? Joe Bailey.
I think
You used to love Sale of the Century, didn't you?
I was not Tony
You
Barber.
But you were always talking about the offsiders.
Yeah, they were going.
Just like
Delphine Delaney.
Oh God, some of your first moments getting home from school, and putting on Wheel of Fortune, and just hoping she had to turn the high letters.
What, Adriana?
Oh, really?
Enemies?
Adriana was
Oh
gorgeous
God.
thing. Yeah, she died really sad.
Yeah, I know.
Broke and unhappy and.
I know. Well, it's life.
And what about
life's tough, isn't it?
I don't even say. Yeah,
Well, she turned
is
letters
Baby
for a
Burgess
living,
dead?
but
No, Ian Turpie died.
Oh, Baby Burgess had a fake eye. Did you know that?
No.
Well, it
John Burgess, yeah.
gets even better. He had a fake left eye, and one of the blokes in Underbelly, one of the blokes that carried as an Underbelly, the Italian angry all the time, he ripped it out of his head in an argument. Pulled his eye out.
Wow, that's a story, isn't it?
So that's what I heard anyway. Heard at the pub, it'd be right for sure.
yeah. Pub and the racecourse, 2 reliable sources of information.
All right,
Okay,
buzzers
we
at the
ready? Name the horse that won the 1988 Summer Cup at Randwick. Very famous horse.
Poser. Superimpose.
Done.
Oh, yes, double points.
Did you back it?
Don't know.
Double points.
Yeah, we didn't remember.
great question, team. That was a really, really good
It's
question.
good that I got it. One to me, I'm in front.
Who am I? I am considered to be one of the best racehorses to come out of Tasmania and easily the best to do so in the modern era.
Poser.
You're Perla.
Oh, I want to be a poser.
What is it? What is
The
it?
cleaner.
No.
Does that put him on -1?
I was transferred to Bob Hoisted in the middle of 1989. Over the next 18 months, I won the Caulfield, Moonee Valley and Sandown
No, you don't
Cups.
get another go. You're out.
No. So you're on -1.
Keep
you're
going.
on
No,
positive
no,
two.
keep
You
going.
can't lose to me, Glenn. Just
No,
go
I haven't
quiet.
keep going. So do I get to answer it?
Yeah. BMW International, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes and the Caulfield Stakes at Weight for Age. I was a brown gelding who was adept in all conditions. I am...
Starting with
S.
No, wait, he's already 3 points in front.
Citizen.
Yes. Okay. Of last season's winning trainers premiership at the 5 New South Wales provincial tracks, Gosford, Hawkesbury, Kembla, Newcastle and Wyong, 4 of the winning trainers were Sydney based, with only 1 provincial trainer winning the premiership, coincidentally at their home track. Who was that trainer?
Poser. Paul Perry.
Perla. Chris Lees.
It was Gwenda Marquez Kembla.
Of course it was.
That was terrible, man.
Jesus. Oh my God.
How annoying. Yeah, go on. Next question. Next turning.
Okay, this is one quickest on your buzzers. Okay, so this should be. Well, I don't know. You both.
How exciting is this show?
Stuff, but in the days of imperial odds, I had $17 on the winner at odds of 13 to 8. How much would I receive, including stake?
But
Which one was it?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Scissors, paper, rock for it. Okay, Glenn, you got it.
What was it? What was the diamonds again?
$17
$17
on it, 13 to 8.
oh no, you've had too long to think about it.
I know. I haven't anything. $44.65.
She got,
44.62.
well, $44.60. I think she might have rounded
Yeah,
it down.
she rounded down. I said
Yeah.
62 and a half. So we get 65. Yeah.
Did you
get
have it bang? Was that it?
So I was right,
No, you
wasn't I?
were
I
good.
said 45.
Okay.
Oh, Glenn,
Poser's on fire. You know that,
absolutely
Tony?
streaking away.
On a recent show, Mark mentioned former Sydney Rails bookmaker, the late Digger Lobb. As it turns out, he was the stand that I used to position myself opposite before betting open for each race, in the days when I used to go to the track. But back to Digger Lobb. What were his initials on the bookie's stand?
Poser. His initials were HW Lob.
Oh, I think we need another letter in the middle there, Mark. Do you
Oh,
have
I
it?
Gee, I would have said HWL. I don't know. Because I remember it used to be HW
HWD.
bracket Digger.
You're right, with the H and W, there's something in the middle.
If I remember, it was HW
Really
Lob.
famous dude, lived a couple of thousand years ago, and it started his name.
J. HWJ Lob.
It was too.
No, it's HJW Lob.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Okay, no points for
I
anybody.
got to get that one to Perla because you got the J.
Yeah,
Got the J.
okay. Yeah, after the hint.
Fucking hell, team, you've got a memory like unbelievable. I was thinking of you this morning,
Okay,
team.
because it's all even,
You know, I
we've
was
got
thinking
the
about two this morning.
tiebreaker
You know, I was
question.
thinking, it wasn't even. I'm in for a bit short. I was thinking of two this morning because I am one of the. I sit down when I piss. Is there anything wrong with it?
No.
I think that's
Besides,
strange.
well,
yeah,
yeah, but
it's a bit of trannian,
how-
isn't it?
Yeah.
how hard is it
That's nice, isn't it?
to not make a mess of the
You don't make any mess. No.
How hard is it to not make a
When
mess
you got to
if
A,
you
especially
stand
that
up?
first one, because it can go anywhere.
What about the flick when you're cleaning off as well? Like, it's got to be thrown around up into the effort a little bit, doesn't it?
The old,
The old-
yeah, I'm always embarrassed with the flick, especially the public talk to me and then by saying, go,
Some guys think you're doing a helicopter.
got a fucking hose there, you fucking idiot. Anyway, give us the last. I still think I'm in front here,
Okay.
at least.
No,
How-
it's not a tiebreaker. It's just the last question.
Last question.
Okay, yeah. How many registered race clubs are there in New Zealand?
4.
Okay.
I'll say 54.
Well, we'll give a point to Mark there. 62 registered race clubs in New Zealand. That's amazing,
Fucking
isn't
hell.
it? Yeah.
What a great, they were great questions, team. Thanks again
Yeah.
for your contribution to the show. We always appreciate it. This has been the end of the Ram. It's a great week ahead. We've got a stack of racing. Obviously, Wednesdays at Warwick Farm. Saturday, we're back to Rosie Hill. All our products will be available, and the boys will talk
I
about
don't think we are back to Brazil. I thought it was
Ram
week
again.
No, in fact, it's definitely round because it's City Tats Day.
Is
Not
it
City
really?
Tats Day, it's Tats Day.
So as usual, I'm wrong.
City Tats Day.
I'll be doing the preview show on Friday with the boys. The boys will probably put something up tomorrow for Wednesday racing, I hope.
Yep, we will.
And talk about our products then.
Yep. And I just want to mention that I'll be posting today a brand new product brought to us by a friend of the show, Luke Murrell, who everyone knows because he owned Protectionist.
He owned it?
Well, he was Australian Thoroughbreds bought a share in Protectionist prior to winning the Melbourne Cup. Now, Luke has obviously his colours are those,
Blue, white, and black. And
you see them on Chris Lee's horses all the time. Australian bloodstock. They've made, they sort of basically took up with Waller buying horses from overseas. So he's got really, really good insight into all the imports that are, the imports that will be turning up for this week's Caulfield Cup and any imports that will be in the Cox Plate specifically. This report isn't about the Melbourne Cup, but you'll have the opportunity to purchase Luke's insight into any of the imports for this week and next week.
Which is fantastic because that imports have a lot to do with the marketplace, and they're hard to get your head around. It's good to have
Well, they
some-
are because once upon a time we just used to go, forget them.
Yeah, now we
But
don't.
you cannot anymore. So this is very, very, very good insight, and I'll put up this afternoon the ability to purchase this particular report that obviously will inform your betting decisions for the Caulfield Cup and Cox Plate.
And there'll be a bit of juice there, won't there, for the early punters? By the way, Mick was very good again on Saturday, and what did I say? Mick's horses that he found that were from Sydney, what did they all do?
Win.
Win. Thank you for at least getting some of the money I lost on Saturday back for me, Mick. So much appreciated.
All right, well, it's the end of the rant, and summer's coming, so it's a beauty. All right, all the best. Bye.
See you guys.
Is that all right, okay? Yeah. So what else is there?